Hello, this is Don O'Malley from Don's Breakfast Cereal Show. Thank you for tuning in. Today we start The Last of the Mohicans, a 12-chapter serial from 1932 starring Harry Carey as Hawkeye and Frank Coughlin Jr. as Uncas. Frank, or Jr. as he was called, most of his film career, also appeared in The Adventures of Captain Marvel. Now that was the first serial I showed to premiere Don's Breakfast Cereal Show, and probably one of the best serials out there. Junior played Billy Batson, who uttered the magic word Shazam and turned into Captain Marvel. He was in Our Gang, the Bowery Boys films, as well as in Gone with the Wind. He started acting in 1920 and retired in 1969. He passed away in 1974. Here we go with chapters 1 through 5 of The Last of the Mohicans. Thank you.
War is declared. It's against us. Hey, against us, Cuba!
The fate of an empire is in your hands. These dispatches must reach Colonel Moe at Fort William Henry.
Turn out! Turn out! The Hurons are on the warpath. They've joined the French against us. The bloodthirsty Hurons.
But the Mohicans are between us and them.
Yes, the Mohicans have always been our friends. But what can one little village of Mohicans do against hordes of Hurons?
The brave Mohicans are our only hope. Once your fathers hunted from the salt lakes to the fresh lakes of the Canadas. Then the Dutchmen came and took your land by the great river. And they came and took your lands in the mountains. And today, what have you left? This little village and no more. Arouse yourselves. Dig up the hatchet. Make war upon the English and regain the lost empire of the Mohicans. Men of the Mohicans, that is the message which I, Magua, chief of the Hurons, bring to you from the great French general, Montcalm. Let the Mohicans join the French and the Hurons. Let them drive out the English Long Knives. The lands of your fathers will be given back to you. Has Magua finished? One thing more, O chief of the Mohicans. Great French chief sends these gifts to the Sagamore and his son, Uncas.
Tell the great French chief we do not need his rifle. The English and the Mohicans are friends.
How can you call them friends? Was it not the English who stole the red man's lands? The English who...
Their war chief, Colonel Monroe, has proved himself to be the red man's friend.
The red man's friend, you say? Look! This is what the English long knives did to Magua. They tied his hands and feet to logs. They tore that blanket from his back. One! Two! Three! Four! Five! Six! Seven! Eight! Thus does Colonel Monroe show his friendship for the red man.
A chief of the Hurons, whipped like a dog.
Aye, that's what he treats you. Are you? Are you? Or even your Sagamore himself. Will you wait for the English to leave the mark of their whip on your back? Are you men or dogs? If you are men, come take the warpath with the Hurons and the French. If you are dogs, lie down and wait for the lash of the English long knives to fall on your back.
Fall at will, my friend, on any dog, like yon mangy Huron.
Okay.
This Huron speaks with a split tongue. He tells you half-truths. The Englishmen are a just people. They fit the punishment to the crime. Magua was welcome in the camp of the English until he drank firewater and his tongue ran loose. He boasted that he was there to spy upon us for the French. For this, a white man would have been hung. Colonel Monroe was merciful to let Magua...
He's our friend. We know his words are true words.
But I
have spoken. Go.
Magua will go. But when the strong arm of the French falls upon the Mohicans, let them remember that Magua tried to be their friend.
My brother has made a bitter enemy of Magua. He will lie in wait for Hawkeye like a yellow panther.
Magua. Well, the Hurons have been trying to ambush me for 20 years. But old Killdeer's never failed me yet. Uncas, my lad, how you've grown.
Come. The mother of my son shall prepare a place for you.
My brother's welcome warms the heart of Hawkeye. But I must not tarry. I'm on the king's business, bearing dispatches to Colonel Monroe.
My father's heart is troubled for our white friend.
He holds too lightly the treachery of Magua.
Will my father not send me to cover our good friend's trail?
Come. We will get our weapons, my son.
wise as a serpent. Our white brother leaves no trail for the Hurons to find.
Running toward our lodges.
Magua.
Magua.
Our nation is no more. Only you and I remain to dig up the hatchet.
My son, are the last of the Mohicans.
Magua.
Qui va là?
Ami de la France.
Avancez! Donnez le mot du jour!
Montcalm.
Avancez!
Daily Huron. Magua.
Passez!
In my next dispatch, I expect to report we have captured Fort William Henry from the British. Well, Lieutenant?
Magua, the Huron chief had returned.
So soon? Send him in. Magua's prompt return must mean he's won the Mohicans over to our cause. So, you failed.
Magua never fails. The Mohicans refused to take the warpath. They defied Magua. The Mohicans are no more.
No more? Do you mean dead? All of them?
Magua has committed a grave offense. France does not make war on women and children.
Magua will make war as his white father bids him.
Well, then make war against men. Use your wits against the British. Discover their plans. Bring me some information so that the French and the Hurons can defeat them in battle.
And if Magua brings the information his white father desires,
Magua's medal shall be of silver. Magua's pouch shall be filled with gold. He shall be the highest chief at my council table.
chief of chiefs.
Well, Lieutenant, a British officer has just been captured. Does the general wish to question him? Bring him in. Bring in the prisoner. Have you searched the prisoner for the scratches? Yes, and found none.
What is your name, sir? Major Duncan Hayward, 60th Royal Americans.
What were you doing near our lines?
I was on my way to meet two ladies and escort them to Fort William Henry.
Two ladies?
Yes, the daughters of Colonel Monroe.
Colonel Monroe, indeed. I'm sorry to disappoint the ladies, but I must hold you prisoner, Major Hayward.
Who are you?
Long I should know. I am his friend.
But what were you doing in the French camp?
Colonel Monroe, the chief of your war party, sent me to use my eyes and ears.
A British spy? Good. You can be of great service to Colonel Monroe if you will help me guide his daughters to Fort William Henry.
Magua owes a debt to the gray-headed chief. Magua will gladly guide the daughters of Colonel Monroe.
Above the falls is the Huron country. There we will pick up Magua's trail.
Sagamore. Why, I nearly shot you for a mangy Huron. War paint.
Huron.
On your trail. How many?
thick as deer at the Salt Lake.
We saw you from the river and came to warn you.
Thanks, old friend. I'll fight them if I have to, but I must press on to Fort William Henry.
Water leaves no trail. Come, we have a canoe. Magua!
Hawkeye. Sorry, Major. I couldn't let you kill our Mohican friends.
Friends? Were they attacked by guides?
Guide? Aye, a guide that would lead you straight to the scalping knives of the Hurons.
Sir, Magua is the trusted servant of my father.
The daughters of Colonel Monroe and their singing teacher, David Gammon.
Ah. And that explains everything. Why Magua hates Colonel Monroe with every drop of blood in his black heart. Your father had him flogged as a spy.
A spy? Then we mustn't let him escape.
Are you tired of life, Major? There's no use for us to follow Magua. If the two Mohicans haven't got him by now, he'll be coming after us with a swarm of bloodthirsty Hurons.
In this dark hour, let us lift our voices in supplication.
Hurons, coming like wolves to the kill.
Uncas, lead the way to the river. We three will bring up the rear. Stand the bomb off. Hold your fire, Major. We all shoot at once, then rush us, before we have chance to reload. There's one thing you learn about Indians, Major. They're always war you think they ain't. Like young varmint.
Lives of many braves to drive them from behind those rocks. Half of you get into the canoes and attack them from the water side.
Oh. Oh, it's nothing. Only a scratch. How long can we hold the Hurons off?
No longer than our powder lasts. Can you handle a canoe, Major?
Why, yes. But...
Uncas, get the two ladies and the tooting master into the canoe.
But, man, in a canoe, there'd be open targets for every Huron on the bank.
It's either that or stay here and be scalped. They're halfway across. The varmints haven't seen them yet. Now they are lost, even if they reach the shore.
Don't scream for your life!
Take them alive, as Magua's order.
They're headed straight for the falls. We've got to warn them somehow.
The horses.
Courage, courage.
Take to the river. It's our only chance.
In the year 1757, during the war between France and England for possession of the New World, the famous scout people, Cora Munro and her sister Alice, daughters of a British Army officer, on their way to the fort. Their escort, Major Duncan Hayward of the Royal Americans, who is in love with Alice, and David Gammett, the girl's singing teacher. The party is attacked by Indians under command of Magua, a cruel Huron chief whose tribe are allies of the French.
Take to the river. It's our only chance.
Even in death, they escape our scalping knives.
What happened, friend? Why, we were driven over the falls by the Hurons and...
Magua is grateful to his friend Dulac for saving the lives of these palefaces.
They are friends of my red brother?
Such good friends that Magua will take them to his village, where they will be accorded such treatment as the daughters of Colonel Munro deserve. Put them on the horses.
Don't you dare lay a hand on
My white friend is more brave than wise.
You cannot take her. You cannot. Tell them to free her. Do with me what you will, but send my sister back to her father.
Does a wise man bargain for what is already his? If Magua had wanted the dark hair to die, could he not have slain her from the banks as she drifted above the falls? No. While you live, Magua holds the heart of your father in his grip, where he may wring it dry.
You hate my father? Why?
Does the dark hair see these scars? It was her father who had Magua, the chief of the Hurons, beaten like a dog. Now it is Magua's turn to strike. Why does my brother no longer wear the uniform of the French?
I'm on special duty, lying in wait for a British scout named Hawkeye.
My brother will not have long to wait. Hawkeye's body will soon come floating over the falls.
His body?
Why, is Hawkeye dead?
Aye. He dared to oppose the will of Magua. Hello, friend.
Hello.
Three friends of ours were swept over the falls yonder. Have you seen aught of them?
They were not dashed to pieces on the rocks. The current would surely have drawn them under.
I'd rather be flogged than face Colonel Monroe with the news of his daughter's death.
Hawkeye's duty takes him to the English fort. We follow Magua to his village. Will you share my tea with me before going? It's a long trail to Fort William Henry, and you would dance.
Oh, they've been drenched before. But a cup of tea inside would even it up a bit.
Fine.
Hold in the name of the Lord.
The wretch! A goodly hat it was, costing me 7 and 6 pence.
Friend, I owe you my life.
You owe me naught, sir. But yonder villain owes me a hat.
Why should he want to kill me? I don't look like one worth robbing. They're gone. He's a spy.
What's gone?
My dispatches. And I'll get them back if I have to follow him straight into Montcalm's own camp.
Hawkeye and the Mohicans. They are not dead as Magua thought.
Not dead?
Hawkeye is following my trail. The Mohicans are bound for your village to satisfy some revenge against you.
My friend has done well to bring Magua this news.
Black Wolf, take 5 men and lay in wait for Hawkeye. Hawkeye must be warned.
boy sensible you should put that thing to, since we've been in the woods.
Our trails run together again. The white girls and the English officer were not lost. Magua has taken them to his camp. The Frenchman is with them.
If one of us can slip into the camp tonight and get powder and guns, we may find a way to help them and recover my dispatches.
Magua is ready. Bring the pale faces.
What are you doing here?
We need powder and guns to attack the Hurons.
You will carry word to Colonel Monroe. Tell him that Magua's price for the safety of his daughters is the surrender of the British fort to the French.
No, Duncan. 1,000 times no. We are but two lives. To save us and surrender the fort might mean the loss of an empire to our country.
Dark Hair has chosen. So be it.
No, you can't do that. I'll go. I'll plead with Colonel Monroe to do as you say.
You shall not go. Magua shall see that the daughters of Colonel Monroe are not afraid to die. Come on. Come.
Cora! Alice!
Bind my hands. Cora, what are you doing? Bind my hands. Do you think Magua will dare carry out his threat? Both French and English would hunt him to the earth, and he knows it full well.
Cora! Alice!
Oh.
wait no longer. We do the best we can without Uncas, with the weapons we have at hand. Here they come. Skirt the village. We'll enter from yon side.
In the year 1757, during the war between France and England for possession of the New World, Cora Munro and her sister Alice, daughters of the colonel commanding a British fort, have been captured by Magua, a cruel Indian chief. Magua hopes to earn a great reward from the French by forcing Colonel Munro to surrender the fort as the price of his daughter's safety. Major Duncan Hayward, captained with the girls, is to carry Magua's message to the fort. Meanwhile, a French spy named Dulac has taken refuge in Magua's camp to avoid being caught by the famous scout Hawkeye, whom he has treacherously attacked and robbed of dispatches that reveal the British military plans. With Hawkeye are two Mohicans, the Sagamore and his son Uncas, sole survivors of their tribe, which was massacred by Magua. They set fire to the camp with flaming arrows in the hope of rescuing the girls.
Oh! Alice!
Here they come. Skirt the village. My dispatch. Yon explosion may well be our salvation. Lead the others downstream. Sagamore and I'll cover your retreat.
It is death to follow them. Our blazing wigwams make us fair targets for the long rifles.
Does Magua so easily accept defeat at the hands of the pale faces?
Magua knows not defeat. When they reach Fort William Henry by tomorrow's sun, Magua will be waiting for them.
In the dark, where every shadow may be an ambush, more than likely they'll outrun us and meet us near the fort. Then we must hurry. 'Twould be useless. Not haste, but Indian cunning will save us from being scalped.
In the cave above Falling Creek, 3 brave men could hold off many Huron.
Well said. You and Uncas lead the others there. I'll head for the fort and deliver my dispatches.
And have Colonel Monroe send out a rescue party.
Aye, and I'll lead it myself. The fate of Colonel Monroe's daughters is in my red brother's hands.
I must have one with Colonel Monroe at once.
Major Duncan Hayward of the 60th Royal Americans, sir, asking immediate audience with Colonel Monroe.
Major Hayward, fetch him in at once. Major Hayward? Yes, sir.
Well, speak, man. What has happened? Where are my daughters?
The words do not come easily, sir. Your daughters... Also, we were ambushed by Hurons, and I alone escaped with my life.
You dare to come to me with such news? You hadn't the courage to stay and die with them.
The colonel does me a grave wrong. My horse was shot from under me in the first volley. I fell from a great height. When I recovered and regained the trail, all there remained was the evidence of a sight that I would rather forget. I up there, I spoke as a father, not as a soldier.
Come in.
The scout, with important dispatches from General Stanwick, begs an immediate audience with the colonel.
Let him enter.
Under the circumstances, sir, would it not be wise to see him later?
Thank you, Major. Fetch the dispatches and bid the courier wait.
I will relieve you of the dispatches.
Did I not tell you that I must see Colonel Monroe on matters of grave import?
My orders are to fetch the dispatches. The colonel will see you later.
Go back and tell Colonel Monroe I must see him at once.
Colonel Monroe will see you when it suits his good pleasure.
So? Well, then tell him this. That I bring him news from his daughters and Major Hayward, who are hidden in a cave, awaiting his pleasure to send them aid.
Your news is belated, friend. Major Hayward is inside and can speak for himself.
What manner of lie is this? Am I to believe that a red-coated soldier can travel faster through the night woods than I?
Believe what you will. Major Hayward arrived ahead of you.
Stand aside, fools! There's some sort of treason afoot.
The dispatches are gone. Sound the alarm. Let no one leave the fort.
Fire on that man! He's a spy! Don't let him escape!
I'll order out the troops and capture him.
I'll overtake yon spy and recover the dispatches. Send your soldiers to the caves above Falling Creek. Fetch Major Hayward and your daughters.
What say you of my daughters? They are not killed?
Well, they were alive last night. If I know the Mohicans, they're still alive.
As a father, I would detain you to thank you. As a soldier, I must warn you that the fate of an empire rests in the pocket of that French spy. Those dispatches must not reach Montcalm.
Montcalm ere sees those dispatches. You can rest assured I'll be lying dead in some thicket between here and his camp.
Two platoons of soldiers to patrol Falling Creek and fetch my daughters back.
Follow downstream with half my warriors. The others will go upstream with me. Soon or late, we shall find them again.
Hold! Magua is my friend. You lie.
The French courier.
Hawkeye is on my trail.
Magua has found the horses.
Think they will find us?
Uncas has kept the good news for the last. In the distance, a score of English soldiers are approaching.
Hawkeye must have won through to the fort.
The Long Knives are coming.
How many?
A score.
Gods of the Hurons, smile this day on Magua. Gather the men who went downstream and lay an ambush for them.
It is already done.
Good. Take 10 of my men as well. Let there be no chance of escape.
All right, double quick.
Look! The troops are nearly here.
In the year 1757, during the war between France and England for possession of the New World, Cora Munro and her sister Alice, escorted by Major Duncan Hayward, a colonial officer who is in love with Alice, and David Gammett, their singing teacher, have been attacked by Indians and have taken refuge in a cave. The leader of the Indians is Magua, a cruel Huron chief, who hates Colonel Munro and is bent on striking at him through his daughters. Two mortal enemies of Magua, the sole survivors of the Mohican tribe which was massacred by the Hurons, have come to the aid of the girls. Meanwhile, the Mohicans' friend Hawkeye, a famous scout, has reached the fort with the news, and troops have been sent to rescue the party. Important dispatches have been stolen by Dulac, a French spy, and Hawkeye is on his trail to keep the British military plans from reaching the French commander.
him live. Magua has need of him. Black Eagle forgets that these prisoners are Maguas.
By what right are they Maguas?
Magua could name many rights, but one is enough. Through these prisoners, Magua will get revenge on their father, Colonel Monroe, who cut these scars with a sharp whip. We take the trail to the camp of the French.
Without arms, we cannot attack. But we follow Magua to the death.
What is the meaning of this, Magua? Magua has come to claim the reward promised him by General Montcalm. My prisoners are the daughters of Colonel Monroe.
Colonel Monroe, indeed.
With them, you can force their father to turn over the British forts.
How, Magua?
Colonel Monroe would do anything to save his daughters from being burned at the stake by Magua. Colonel Monroe has reason to fear the vengeance of Magua.
A well-planned scheme, Magua. But you forget that the French do not make war on women.
Now go! Magua will go. But Magua will not forget.
For the unspeakable act of my savage ally, I can but offer my apology. I regret very much I cannot return you to your father. But as guests of France, you'll be accorded all the courtesies my poor camp offers.
Thank you.
Halt! Advance and give the countersign.
France victorious. I'm being pursued by a British scout whose dispatches I stole. There he is. Fire on him.
enter or we fire. Are we never going to attack the British fort? We know they're about out of powder. It seems to me now is the time.
But unfortunately, our powder supply is low.
But isn't there a powder train due?
The prisoner you desire to see is in this tent, mademoiselle.
Major Hayward. Major Hayward.
Call us. Is that you? Come in.
Duncan, I had to see you. Hawkeye. Thank heaven you're here, too. The French are preparing to attack the fort. My father must be warned.
I'll rest easier now, miss, knowing you young ladies are safe from Magua.
For a wagon train of powder that is coming in tomorrow morning.
Father only knew he might seize the powder and cripple the French. At the same time, he strengthens himself.
By the time we got word to the fort, the powder would be in Montcalm's hands. If orders to be done, we must do it ourselves.
Do it ourselves.
The Mohicans. I might have known they'd follow Magua here. Have no fear. Chingachgook and Uncas. They had to put on that Huron war paint to get inside the line.
All is ready. The horses are hidden outside the camp. Come.
Best get out of that British uniform, Major.
Sir, I'm positive that Hawkeye read the dispatches before he destroyed them.
That is true. We must make him talk. Impress upon him that a firing squad awaits his refusal.
Wait for me! Would you leave your faithful singing teacher in the hands of the enemy?
Both Hawkeye and Major Hayward have escaped, sir.
Escape? Sound the alarm. The men are fast. They are out of guard. Send Magua to me.
Oh!
General Montcalm's order. I am escorting these two ladies from the camp.
Let me see your pass. Something is wrong. You'll not leave till we learn the cause. I don't believe you have a pass, you...
The prisoners have escaped. Magua and his braves must find their trail and capture them.
The White Father turns his back on words he spoke to Magua this day. Do we now make war on women?
I'm not interested in the women. The men are spies. You must bring them back, dead or alive.
The Mohicans have joined them. They have taken to the brush, and darkness hides them. But Magua will find them. Lead the way, Magua.
You're the red devil. By daylight, fork-eyed trail will be hard to follow.
The English have laid an ambush for you.
An ambush?
Yes, but for our red friends here, my guide and I would have stumbled straight into it. We saw you coming and came back to warn you.
Is there a way for us to detour it?
None. The British need our powder and are determined to get it. Our only chance is to surprise them.
How?
Leave the wagons here. We shall all slip forward, surround them, and wipe them out.
Agreed. Lead the way, sir. Drivers, stay by your teams and do not advance until called. The rest of you, forward on foot.
It starts well. If not occurs to arouse their suspicions.
British lie hidden in the underbrush below. It's best we separate and surprise them from both sides. Don't charge until we give the signal.
We've won! The powder is ours.
Hosanna!
The ladies must leave their mounts here and ride the wagon. So we'll all be together if we have to make a run for it.
It is strange we have seen no enemy, nor have we seen our friends.
What party is this so far outside of our line?
It's a convoy of the powder shipment.
Powder shipment? But I see no wagons.
We met a party who told us of a British ambuscade ahead, so we left the wagons to attack them.
Were there two ladies with that party?
No, there was a French soldier, a scout, and 2 Indians.
Fools that you are, you have been tricked. They were not French, but English, and by now are well on their way with your wagon. Magua, take my stirrup. Perhaps we can overtake. We can't ride down to them. It's too steep. Magua, cut across with your men and ambush them. If they turn back, they'll run into our track.
goes the fire. Flaming arrows. If we abandon the wagon, they'll catch us. If we stay, we'll be blown to kingdom come.
There's no need for that. They're doomed.
In the year 1757, during the war between France and England for possession of the New World, General Montcalm, the French commander, badly in need of gunpowder, is awaiting the arrival of a wagon train. Meanwhile, the powder wagons have been captured by a daring band of adventurers, led by the famous scout who is carrying dispatches from British headquarters to Fort William Henry. On the wagon with Hawkeye are his two Mohican friends, the Sagamore and Uncas, sole survivors of their tribe, which was massacred by their enemies, the Hurons. On the other wagon are Cora Munro and her sister Alice, daughters of the British commander at Fort William Henry, Major Duncan Hayward of the Royal Americans, who is in love with Alice, and David Gammett, the girl's singing teacher, whom the Indians will not harm because they believe he is crazy. Pursuing the wagons are French troopers, led by Dulac, a spy who is trying to steal Hawkeye's dispatches, and a war party of Hurons, headed by Magua, chief of the tribe, the deadly enemy of Hawkeye and the Mohicans.
Flaming arrows. If we abandon the wagon, they'll catch us. If we stay, we'll be blown to kingdom come.
There's no need for that. They're doomed. The British will never use that powder against our army. Nor will they ever know how badly we need it.
Be not so sure. Hawkeye and his friends may still be alive.
Why, Magua, are you a child? To believe that any human being could escape that?
Magua knows Hawkeye and the Mohicans. He will believe they are dead when he has their scalps.
Nonsense, you are...
Magua is not concerned with what his white brother thinks. You may choose your trail, and Magua will choose his.
Tis as I feared. Magua's still on our trail.
Yonder are the horses that broke loose. If the lady is mounted, we can reach the fort before the Hurons overtake us.
The trail to the fort is a difficult one for horses, with many shortcuts whereby the Hurons can get ahead and ambush us. Our only hope is to leave no trail, or a false one. Come, I have a plan. Each one of us follow in the footsteps of the one ahead, so that they will not know how many are in our party. Quick, Uncas. You too, Major. Into the tree. Give the ladies a hand. Now, young ladies. The Hurons will follow the trail of the horses, thinking that you were on them. Your very lives depend on keeping silent.
Why did they delay?
They trample the trail to cover all footprints.
Listen. Safe now to double back to our friends. The Hurons will be long following our trail through yon rock.
Thank heaven, here they come at last.
Get ye down quickly. We have no time to lose.
Trails in the water are hard to find. We will go direct to the fort. Be waiting when they arrive.
In this hour of deliverance, let us sing a brave hosanna.
Save your breath, friend. For the long miles twixt us and the fort.
All quiet?
All quiet, sir.
Not a sound.
Help! Help!
Who goes there, friend or foe?
Friends, outpost number 5, wounded and bearing news.
Advance, friend.
Rouse the force. The French are upon...
What is it? What has happened?
The French, sir. They are massing for the attack.
Nonsense.
You simply fell in with a scouting party.
Your Excellency's pardon. We heard the tramp of feet and the rumble of cannon wheels.
Cannon? Montcalm plans a surprise attack.
We must be prepared. Turn off the gun. Generous as you have made the terms of my surrender, sir, it is a cruel blow to the pride of a soldier of my years.
My tribute to a brave enemy. Had your powder held out, we still might be battering away at your stronghold.
Your safe return does much to lighten this day's burden of misfortune.
No need delivering my dispatches now, Major.
I trust you will pardon a father's concern over loved ones that he thought were lost to him. General Montcalm, may I present you to my daughters?
I believe we have met before, under rather different circumstances. Am I not correct, mademoiselle?
Would it be impertinent to ask your meaning, sir?
The ladies were guests at my camp not so long ago, but my poor hospitality could not hold them.
Has the great white father forgotten that he called these palefaces spies and ordered Magua's men to hunt them down?
Magua's memory is short, or he has forgotten.
Magua never forgets. The white girls went to steal powder for this fort, and but for Magua, would have succeeded.
What they did was prompted less by hatred for France and by love for their father, for which I honor them and congratulate Colonel Monroe. Shall we not proceed with the signing of the terms of the surrender?
With or without powder, I should not sign these articles were it not for your generous promise to protect the civilians within the fort.
The signature of my Indian ally is also necessary.
nothing to fear. We'll soon rejoin your father at Port Edward.
Oh, hello, back already? Join us next time for chapters 6 through 11 of The Last of the Mohicans, with Harry Carey as Hawkeye and Frank Coughlin Jr. as Uncas. And so as not to miss any of my shows, subscribe to Don's Breakfast Cereal Show on YouTube, hit like and subscribe, and you'll never miss a show. So good night, stay safe, hope to see you next time.